What is good, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another review. This is not your average sneakerhead, Tony Ramsey, and today we're taking a look at the Yeezy QNTM Basketball Frozen Blue. If this is your first time here, thank you guys for watching. Please consider subscribing to the channel and also leaving this video a thumbs up. We have recently passed 1,000 subs, so a giveaway will be coming very soon. So I have to figure out some details for how to put that giveaway together because the channel is still continuing to grow at a pretty good rate. So I want to make sure I can give back to you guys for joining the channel, watching my content, helping the channel grow. Really do appreciate all you guys, all the support, thumbs ups, all the comments. That definitely is appreciated. Try to get back to each and every single one of you guys that does leave a comment. Again, thank you guys for all joining the Not Your Average Sneakerhead family. Looking forward to bringing you guys more reviews as we continue to go forward. Now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and look at some details about this sneaker. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Yeezy QNTM Basketball in their Frozen Blue colorway actually released in two different versions. There was a basketball performance version that released on December 22nd. Then there also was a lifestyle release that came out on December 23rd. Now, while they are very similar in terms of the colorway and most of the construction, there are some subtle differences between the basketball version and the lifestyle version I think that most people need to be aware of. That way you make sure that you're getting the right one for you. And I figure since I have more than one of these in my collection, I can go and give you guys a pretty good idea of some of the differences between the sneakers so you guys can pick the one that fits your needs. But first things first, to take a look at the box. Now the Yeezy QNTM Basketball does come in your standard Yeezy cardboard box, so brown box there. A little bit different than the other QNTMs. This one actually has basketball on the top of it. Now I believe this is also the second basketball version of the QNTM that has released so far. The first one was in the OG colorway, and that one was pretty limited of a release. Then on the side you do have some Boost branding right there, as these do have Boost cushioning in them. And then on the side where the label is, it says Yeezy Basketball. The official colorway is Frozen Blue, and I got these in a size 9. You can see the label right there on the box. Typical Yeezy drawer style box, so it just slides out. You do have your brown paper inside of the box, and that's about it for the details. Now let's look at the sneaker. So as I mentioned, this is not the first QNTM that I have had. I did pick out the OG release that came out back in Chicago. I was not able to hit on those for retail. I did get those for resale, and I was able to hit a pair of the Bariums for retail from Adidas. I actually ended up with 2 pairs of those and let one of them go to one of my boys. But this one was one I was always really interested in. There was another colorway that was the teal blue that came out in between the Bariums and these. I did pass on the teal blue, and those you can pretty much grab anywhere you want if you are interested in those. But I would rather wait it for these, mainly because I felt like if you have one QNTM, you probably don't need any other ones. I did want to have a few different color options, which is why I still opted for this one. And glad I was able to get the different version of this one and not just the lifestyle version. So let's look at some details about the sneaker. So we'll start here at the toe box. So you guys can see the toe box does have what looks like some felt right here. Some people thought it was suede, but it's not. It's actually all synthetic, more like of a felt material, and it is done like in a cream or a beige type of color. And that is the same type of fang pattern that you would see on the 700 V3s, and also kind of similar to what you see on the 700 V1s as well. Then moving on to the lateral side. Now the entire upper of the sneaker on both the lateral and the medial side, you do have this kind of TPU-ish cage. It's pretty flexible, so it's not very stiff. But one difference between the basketball version and the normal QNTMs is that this is more underneath the cage, is more like in a mesh material. Actually, it's not more of a mesh. It's kind of more like in a textile material that doesn't really have a lot of stretch to it. So it kind of feels very plasticky. Again, this is because this is a basketball sneaker, which is probably why you have that material under it. Then right above that, you have like a neoprene type of material up here. It kind of reminds me of what you would see on some scuba gear. That does has some stretch to it. And one quick difference I can tell between this one and the lifestyle version, this cut is actually much higher than what you would see on the lifestyle version. When I do a comparison, you guys will see that in the video as well. and this is all done in black. Moving on to the rear of the sneaker, you do have this huge heel counter right here, which is all done in 3M. It's really stiff, doesn't have a whole lot of give to it, so it'll give you some good ankle support if you did plan to actually play basketball in these, which is what they were for. Then up here at the top, you have some more of that neoprene, but right here in the center, that's more like in a stretchy type of knit type of material, kind of like what you would see on Yeezy 350 V2, so very stretchy right there. Also, that goes along the entire collar. Then onto the medial side, you have some more of that heel counter that wraps around the medial side as well. And the part right here in the front, that part is actually done in 3M. This part right here is it's also in 3M, but not quite as bright. Then on the medial side right there, you do have some more of that type of scuba type of neoprene material, hold your ankle in. Back again to the cage with some more of that kind of plasticky mesh under it. Another detail too about this cage is that the whole outer level of the CPU cage does glow in the dark. So if you hit it with a UV light or keep it out in daylight for a long time, get back into a dark room, this does glow. It actually does glow pretty bright too, so something to keep in mind if you do like glow in the dark details on your sneakers. I'm a big kid, so I do tend to appreciate that on my sneakers. Now we look at the tongue. The tongue on this one is also in that same type of a neoprene or a scuba gear material. You have some wide rope laces that go within there. They lace up on these little eyelets on the side, so it does lock your foot in pretty well once you get them laced up. And the tongue up here actually does have some padding in it as well. It goes pretty high, it has like more of like a V shape at the top of it. And that's pretty much it. And the top of the tongue also has some knit on it as well, so it makes it comfortable around your ankle when you do get these tied up on your foot. Take a look at the outsole of the sneaker. So you do still have that same traction pattern that is on the other Quantum basketball sneakers. So it's more like a wavy type of pattern, not quite herringbone. Herringbone traction is one of the best tractions you can have on a basketball performance sneaker. So this kind of mimics it in a good way. It is done in like a milky white. And then you do have the boost cushioning poking right out at the rear of the sneaker there. And also looking at the outsole of the sneaker, it does have a pretty wide base, which might be good for basketball. So if you are making some cuts and planting your foot, that should keep you, the outrigger should keep your foot from tipping over too much. Let's take a look at the insole that's inside of the sneaker. These do come out. You guys can see it's a basic black insole. It does have some Adidas and Yeezy branding at the rear of the insole. Then on the bottom of the insole, you guys can see that it does have a mimic of a traction pattern. You do have some Adidas branding there at the rear of it. Then also right here at the top, you do have these numbers with your size on the insole as well. And that's pretty much it for the details about the sneaker itself. So let's talk about sizing for the Yeezy Quantum basketball sneaker. Now in all Yeezy sneakers, I always recommend going up at least a half size. Typically I'm a true 8.5 in most sneakers, but in all Yeezys, I go up to a size 9, no different in the Quantum basketball version. In the other lifestyle versions, I would say that even a 9 still fits me a little bit snug here on the toe box right around here. So I definitely would not consider playing basketball in those. But so far when I've had these on my feet, these feel like a little bit more comfortable. For whatever reason, they feel like they're not quite as narrow in the toe box. I think they probably did that more so for performance reasons. So I'm really glad I got this one and not the lifestyle version to give me that little bit of extra bit of comfort. So I would recommend going with going up a half size, even if you do have a wide or narrow foot. Half size on Yeezys is always the way to go. Last but not least, let's talk about the resale value for the Quantum basketball. Now, 2020, they didn't release a ton of Quantums, and they came out the gate with a pretty high resale value, especially the OG colorway. I think that was just called the Quantum. It was like more in the silver colorway. I do have those up on the shelf up there, but those out the gate had a pretty high resale value. They were going for close to 700 bucks at some point. Then they restocked them later on in the year, and the value of the Quantums pretty much plummeted. I believe all of you could probably grab right now for, if not close to retail, under retail. These did retail for about $250. So to get them under retail would be a win for you. I think that over time, as most Yeezys typically do, these will go up in value, especially with this being one of the first Adidas high top silhouettes that they've had. They did have another high top silhouette, which was the 500 high, which was this one. But these also weren't very popular, but their value has seemingly increased in the last year or so. I can see that these going up in value as well, especially as you get more into basketball season. More people start to pick these up, start to hoop in them. You see them on court. Because I actually think this is a really good looking sneaker that should have some value over time. So you can grab a pair of these just to keep in your collection, or just to hold them for an investment to see if they do increase in value. You're going to get them for below retail, and that could be a big win for you down the road. That's going to do it for most of the major details about the Yeezy Quantum Frozen Blue and the basketball version. Let's go ahead and get these laced up, get them on feet, and show you guys how they look. Well, there you have it. That's my review of the Yeezy QNTM Frozen Blue basketball version. Let me know what you guys think about this sneaker in the comment section below. As I mentioned, I really do like this sneaker, but I'm also a fan of weird and new types of sneakers. Maybe I'm a little bit of a hype beast, I don't know. But when they come up with something new like this, especially from a brand like Adidas and Yeezy, I had to give them a try. Really glad I did too, because these are actually really comfortable on feet. I really do like the way they look on foot as well. Now, how would you style these? That's still yet to be determined, because we are still kind of stuck in the house for a little bit longer. So until we can get out the house and I can get these with some outfits, we'll see how that goes. But I can definitely see myself hooping in these every once in a while, because as I mentioned, on foot they feel pretty comfortable. I think I'll get pretty good ankle support from this sneaker, and they should be sneakers that I'm going to keep in my collection for the long term. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you did pass on these, let me know. If you're not a fan of QNTMs, let me know that as well. And if you do like these, let me know if you plan to pick a pair of these up. That's going to do it for my review. Again, really clean colorway of the QNTM. I might like these more than the Bariums, which honestly, the Bariums are probably one of my most worn sneakers of 2020, simply because they are very comfortable and the color scheme is pretty easy to match with things. But also am a big fan of the color blue, so expect to see these in my rotation a little bit going forward. Also be sure to stay tuned, because we will be comparing the lifestyle version of the QNTM to the performance basketball version, so you guys can see what some of the differences are. I'll plan to drop another video about that a little bit later on. But that's going to do it for my review. Again, this is not your average sneakerhead, Tony Ramsey, taking a look at the Yeezy QNTM Frozen Blue basketball version. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And I'll catch you guys on my next review. Peace.